The deadly flooding in Texas is becoming a source of division on Capitol Hill. Republican lawmakers are praising President Trump's quick response. Democrats are calling for investigations and hearings into the federal government's preparation and whether the tragedy could have been prevented. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales has the latest. Erik.
Well, good evening, Veronica. Yes, Democrats are honing in on the Trump administration's funding and staff cuts to the National Weather Service. They claim that the cuts may have prevented timely flood warnings that could have helped save lives. Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer is demanding answers.
I asked for an investigation into what role, if any, the administration's staff cuts to local National Weather Service stations played in preparedness and response to the Texas tragedy.
And Senator Schumer wrote to the Commerce Department asking for information on whether reduced staffing impeded the Weather Service's ability to coordinate with local emergency officials in the area. Quote, "We have a responsibility to the American people to determine whether preventable failures contributed to this tragedy and to ensure that it never happens again."
We have to make sure that the resources are there to save people's lives, to prevent these kinds of tragedies, to make sure that the National Weather Service has all of the personnel and the resources that it needs to make the predictions and do the analysis that it needs to do.
Republicans tell me they're outraged. They defend the Trump administration while accusing Democrats of politicizing the catastrophic flooding and loss of life.
Unfortunately, some people can't resist playing politics even during a time of mourning and great tragedy. I think it would be more appropriate for them to join us in praying for those families who have lost young ones.
For Schumer to come out with something like that is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed that I'm part of a Senate that's involved in something like that. Of course, I don't believe anything like that.
Republican Congressman Chip Roy, who represents the area impacted by the flooding, says investigations can wait. Right now, search efforts continue and bodies are still being recovered.
There's a lot of finger pointing going on in both directions politically. I'm not going to let this be politicized right now. We'll figure this out going forward.
Lawmakers do tell me that FEMA has enough resources to help with the recovery efforts right now and adds that Congress will handle requests for disaster assistance as they come in. President Trump is expected to visit the area on Friday along with Senator John Cornyn. At the Capitol, Erik Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.